equations here. The first one we have is 3 to the power 2x multiplied by 3 to the power x minus 1 equals 3 to the power 8. Okay, so let me put it aside here. So again, we apply the product rule for indices, where when you're multiplying the same bases, you add the indices. Okay, so this is going to be 3 to the power 2x plus x plus 1 or x minus 1 equals 3 to the power 8. Okay. Now, whenever it's usually a plus, these values in the brackets never change, because positive 1 times x, positive 1 times x is x, positive 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Okay. So what's in the brackets won't change, but we can simplify. So 3 to the power 2x plus x minus 1 equals 3 to the power 8. 2x plus x, that is 3x. So our equation here now, since our bases are the same here, okay, so our equation now is 3x minus 1 equals 8. Group like terms together, the negative 1 crosses over the equal sign, so 8 plus 1 becomes 9. Divide both sides by 3. Okay, 3 divided by 9, that is 3. So our value for x is 3. Okay, any questions, queries? Okay, we go to this next one. 2 to the power x plus 5 over 2 to the power 3x equals 2 to the power 2. So basically we're applying the quotient rule of indices, where when you're dividing two bases, you subtract the indices. Okay, so it's going to be x plus 5 minus 3x equals 2 to the power 2. Okay, so like terms, x minus 3x, that is negative 2x, okay, since the bases are the same here, so we can just form the equation. So we have negative 2x plus 5 equals 2. Alright, so we take that positive 5 over the equal sign, it becomes negative 2x equals 2 minus 5, and negative 2x equals 2 minus 5, that is negative 3. Okay, then to get the value of x, divide both sides by negative 2. Okay, then you're going to say x equals, remember negative and negative make positive, so this negative 3 over negative 2, you can just write it as 3 over 2. Okay, and then you make it a mixed number, 1.5. Any questions, queries? Okay, we can go to the third one. Let me write it here. So the third one is 7x squared multiplied by 7 to the power 5x equals 7 to the power 6. Okay, so again, first things first, we need to add the indices. So we have 7, so we're adding x squared plus 5x So now the bases are the same. We can solve for the exponents. Okay, so we're going to get x squared plus 5x. Now colleagues, since we see there's an x squared here, we know we're dealing with quadratic equations. Okay, we are dealing with quadratic equations. Okay, so this 6 needs to come this side so that it becomes x squared plus 5x minus 6 equals 0. Okay, we now have a quadratic equation. Okay, when x is raised to the power 2, just know that is a quadratic equation, and it means you have two values of x, which are also called the roots of the quadratic equation. Okay, so for those who have forgotten how to solve quadratic equations, okay, this is how you solve them. Just remember this. This is the format of the quadratic equation: ax squared plus b So when you're solving a quadratic equation, right, you're going to say, what is your a? In this case, if we look at this equation, x squared plus 5x minus 6, our a is basically the number in front of x squared, okay? That's what your a represents. The number in front of x squared, that is 1. B represents the number in front of x, which is 5. C represents the number without a letter, which is called the constant, which is negative 6. C represents the constant, right? The number without a thing, without a letter. So once you have done that, okay, next thing you need to do, okay, you multiply a times c, which is 1 times negative 6, that will give you negative 6. After you do that, you need to look for two numbers that when you add them, okay, when you add those two numbers, you have to get this 5 here. Okay, when you add the two numbers, you get 5. When you multiply the two numbers, you need to get a negative 6. Okay? So this is where the trial and error comes in. Okay? Two numbers, when you add them, they should get positive 5. When you multiply them, you get negative 6. So those two numbers are negative 1 and positive 6. 1 times negative 6, you get negative 6. 1 plus positive 6, negative 1 plus positive 6, you get 5. So our quadratic equation becomes x minus 1, x plus 6. Any questions, colleagues? So you solve each fraction, each individually. X minus 1 equals 0, and x plus 6 equals 0.
I have a question. Just before you reach very far.
Yeah.
So you're saying that we need to look for two numbers. When you add them, they must give you positive 5.
Yes.
Then when you subtract them, they give you negative 6.
When
Is
you
that right?
When you multiply them, they should give you negative 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So those
All right, sir.
yes. So,
Sir,
yes.
I've got a question.
Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So this what you've used with factorization method. So in the event that we use quadratic method, are you going to get the same answer?
Yes, if you use the quadratic equation, yes. When you use the quadratic equation, okay, which is the most consumer friendly, you get the same answers here. You get x equals 1, positive 1, because this negative 1 has gone over this side. We're going to get x equals negative 6. Okay, because this 6 is going over this side, so it becomes negative. And as I said, these things you can prove. That's the beauty of mathematics. If you use x equals 1, you substitute it here. 1 squared, that is 1, plus 5 times 1, that is 5. 1 plus 5, you get 6. If you use negative 6 squared, that is 36. Plus 5 times negative 6, you get negative 30. Okay, so 36 plus negative 30. Okay, positive and negative make negative, so 36 minus 30, you still get 6. Okay.